misfortune lead to good fortune? What do you think, girls?
Yes, it can.
Yeah. What do you think, Dana? Dana Wael, what do you think? Dana Wael?
Yes, miss, I'm here.
Yes. What do you think, Dana? Can misfortune lead to good fortune?
Mm, maybe in some cases, yes.
Yes. Has it ever happened to with you?
Um, I'm not sure I can remember anything happening to me.
Anything, girls? Do you remember any situation that it started with misfortune and then you found out that it was a good fortune?
Miss, can you explain the like what is the
I'll tell
meaning?
you my story. I'll tell you my story. A few years ago in my previous school, I was my papers got or my name got into those who will travel uh, for Egypt, and who will go back to their home countries. And I was not traveling, and I didn't tell them I'm traveling, but they took the name by mistake, and they like finished some of my papers related to work, yani not related to embassy or anything, just related to work. Okay. And then they didn't tell me, they just kept the papers with them. And then when I was moving from the school, I found these papers in my file, and those papers were too hard to be done right now.
Ah,
So something, when it happens at the beginning, I might have thought that the school or that I may not continue work, but then I found out that it was the best thing happened to me, because I needed these papers, and at that time I was leaving my school. I found out that it was too hard to get these papers from the ministry again.
portion.
Wow.
Yeah. So, hungers. Natalie, can you tell me any story that happened with you and you thought that it is too bad, and then you found out that it is a good fortune?
I don't have like anything in mind. Like I can't think of one.
You can think of one?
Yeah.
No one
Miss,
of you girls?
Miss, I
Yes?
when I first moved to the school,
Yes.
I thought that I would be um like really, because like the education had this reputation about it that it's a bad school. I didn't want to come here, but I came here because of issues that happened with my brother in my old school. So when I came here, I discovered that it's actually better than I expected. I really didn't want to come here at first.
See, so at the beginning, you thought it's not going to be well, and then you found out it's a good fortune that I came here.
Yes.
Dareen. Yes, Dareen.
When we used to live in Lebanon, we rented an apartment, but then the owner of the apartment asked for the apartment. So because of that, we started building our own house.
Oh, this is great. Yes, yes. Sometimes you face problems and you think this is the end of the world. What's a misfortune? Oh, I'm so sad. And then you find out that this was the best thing ever happened to you, right?
Yeah.
So he wants you read the second question, Yadana, the second part of the question.
Okay. Think about a book you read or a movie or TV show you saw recently that was about a reversal in fortune, good to bad or bad to good. Was the story compelling? Why or why not? Write a response below. Use the following keywords to focus your writing: characters, motivation, choices, events, plot, fate.
He wants you to think of a story you read, or a movie you read, or a story you watched, a film you watched. It was about a reversal in fortune, that it started with the good fortune and then it became a misfortune, or the opposite, starts with a misfortune and then it led to a good fortune. You would think of the characters, the motivation, choices, events, plot, fate. These are keywords to help you. I just want two lines, girls, about any movie. For example, Aladdin, Sinbad, Pocahontas. I like Pocahontas. Cinderella. Cinderella is what? Is a big symbol uh, yes, for reversal in fortune. She started, yeah, right?
She started as a poor, then became a princess.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so this is, you were right in your book, girls, okay?
Miss Good,
Okay.
the one under it, should we also solve it?
No, because it's with, share it with the partner and we do not see our partners now.
Yes.
Okay. Now in page 39, this is also the question I asked you 5 minutes ago. So, Asma, are you here? Asma Kreker?
Yes, miss.
Read it, please, in the 39 in the book.
Okay. Every family has stories that they tell over and over again at family gatherings. It may be the story of how grandpa and grandma fell in love or tales of the mean things your mom and her siblings used to do to each other
Yes,
until
the
grandma
mean things like the problems, yeah.
yeah, until grandma found out. What story is part of your family heritage? Write it in the space below.
Yes, and this also, this is up to you. This you have to fill, girls. So you will have to fill me these 2 pages and I will create for you an online assignment. I will write it now so I don't forget.
Miss, by a document, right? In Word.
In your book. No, in your book. This is in your book because in this I will not check. I just want to read and know how do you know it. It's not a writing homework. You just bring your pencil, write a small story in 3 lines, 4 lines. It will not take 10 minutes from you. Okay? Online at page 38 and page 39.
Miss,
You just picture it and upload it.
did you check the writing? Or did you
Not
start
yet because
seeing
I
that?
still have no, not yet. Just let me finish this week of tests and then I will
Miss,
the writing will take after the quiz. Yes.
Miss, also the one down the first one, page 39. Second,
Yes.
also it's cancelled because it's also discussion.
It's well, but with a partner.
Yeah, but
Okay. No, don't share anything with your partner. Don't
Okay,
write
so
this with your partner. Yeah.
On page 39 إنه my grandma and my grandpa like they told me stories بأنه الستوريز أطول من حياتي تسوي.
I love it.
Do I
The
need to
stories are
write
longer
or?
than my own life. Okay, let's go to our main excerpt today. The Travels of Ibn Battuta, page 40, girls. Page 40. Dareen, are you here?
yes, miss.
Yes, Dareen. Read, yeah, Dareen, from page 40 from above.
First read analyzing characters. In 1325, 20 years old,
Battuta. Battuta.
Ibn Battuta set off on a pilgrimage to Mecca,
Pilgrimage, which is Hajj, as
pilgrimage
you know.
to Mecca, also known as a Hajj, from his home in Tanger,
Tangier, Morocco.
Morocco. Battuta, a Muslim scholar, went
Cooler.
on Scholar went on to travel for 29 years, covering 75,000 miles and visiting 44 modern countries. Much of that experience focuses on an Egyptian story that trends the rise and fall of the self ka-
Slave,
self
Khasib.
Khashib. Objective: as you read, draw vertical lines to indicate where the story of Khashib begins and ends. Underline words or sentences that help you infer what the characters of Khashib and the Clave are like. Record any thoughts, comments, or questions you have in the My Thoughts column.
So in the first read, we will read now. In the first read, he wants two things. Number one, to tell him where is the story inside the main story. To tell him where is the story inside the main story. Because we have two stories, the main story, and inside there is another story, frame story. So he wants to know where does it start and where does it end. Number two, he wants you to underline the differences. The differences between the characters, the Caliph and the Khasib, whom we'll meet now. I will show you one thing, share with you the rest of the PowerPoint. No, not from the beginning. Here, Ibn Battuta, this is Ibn Battuta. He is a Moroccan traveler or scholar. Scholar is the one who studies abroad. Okay, this is him, and this is the book, The Travels of Ibn Battuta. Okay, why he was so famous? Because traveling was too hard, girls. Like Marco Polo from Venice, Ibn Battuta from Morocco. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Lujain, read ya Lujain.
I start the story.
Here from the PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, yes. Known as one of the greatest travelers in history, Ibn Battuta's written narrative is a delight to anyone who wants to learn about Islamic and medieval history. In Tangier in 1304, he also was a judge, a botanist, and a lawyer. At the beginning of his narrative, he states, "I was alone, without companions, not in a caravan, but I was stirred by a powerful urge to reach my goal. I left my friends and my home just as a bird leaves its parental nest. My father and mother were still alive, and with a great pain I parted with them. I was then only 22. What ensued were nearly 3 decades of zigzag travel that took him as far as India, China, Sri Lanka, and Tanzania. He married, survived wars and shipwrecks, and in the process wrote about experiences and reviews that included the eccentricities
of foreign
rulers, rituals of marriage, and burial, furniture making fuels used in China, wagons in Crimea, the maintenance of roads, the treatment of prisoners, planets that are useful to humans, the philosophies of great scholars, and the customs of the populace all along the way. His writings
remain. Yes. So this is about the author. Okay. Then these are the travels of Ibn Battuta. See. So this is Africa. Morocco is here. He traveled all of that. That's why they say zigzag. He took all of these roads. Okay. He went to Mecca. So from here, Morocco, do you see my mouse? From here, Morocco, till Mecca, he has to pass these ways and go to Egypt. And from Egypt, look, and he walks this from Egypt. He goes down. Okay, till he goes to Mecca, and then Yemen and this part, and then the east. Okay, girls, these are the travels of Ibn Battuta. Okay, so he says the story. He will tell us the story about when he reached Egypt. When he reached Egypt, okay? Okay?
Yes.
Okay. From Mecca to Egypt, yes?
Yeah, he went from Egypt to Mecca. He is from Morocco.
Okay.
Okay.
The frame story is when he reached to Egypt?
Yes. Okay, so read ya Najwa. Yalla. The Travels of Ibn Battuta.
The traveler continues. I then left Cairo with the intention to go on a pilgrimage by way of Upper Egypt, and came to the Dar el-Tin, or monastery of clay. From this place I went...
Dar el-Tin, which is Dar el-Tin, because clay is tin. You know the tin, not tin, the tin, the clay? Because he will say Arabic words and which cannot be translated. So he will, because we know that titles and names of countries, we say them as they are. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Or monastery of clay. From this place I went to Bosch, then to Delis, then to Bibi, then to Bahnasa, then to the Miniyat of Ibn Kashib, which was formerly attached to the government of Cairo.
Yes.
It is said
Miniyat of Ibn Khashib. Miniyat is of Ibn Khashib, like a village. Miniyat of Ibn Khashib, okay? So it was attached to the government of Cairo. Okay? So it was a village under the control of the government of Cairo. Cairo is Al-Qahira.
Yeah.
Okay.
Complete?
Yeah.
It is said that one of the caliphs...
It is said. So what do we have to underline here? Or what do we have to put here? It is said. Huh?
It's a frame of
dialogue.
Yes. Here is the beginning of the story. Within this.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we put a vertical line to know, and you write the beginning.
Okay.
Write in the my thoughts, and you write the vertical line in my thoughts, beginning of the frame story.
That one of the caliphs of the house of Abbas was displeased
with
the people
so one of the caliphs. Who is the caliph, girls?
Khalifa.
Khalifa, yes. Caliph is one of the Khalifa, yes. Of the house of Abbas. Abbasid. You took it in social?
Yes.
Social,
we'll have a test on Thursday.
Great. So Teacher Ala and I are always together.
And took it into his head to place over them one of the meanest of his slaves, by way of punishment, and that he might afford an example to others. At this time...
So what happened here? Wait a minute. Number 2, in the first reads, he wants you to tell him the characterization or the traits in the caliph and in Khashib or Khasib. Huh? The characterization. So anything related to their traits or characters, you have to underline. So do we have to underline here? What does it mean first? Caliphs of the house of Abbas, he was displeased. He was not happy with the people of Egypt. And he took it into his head, to place over them, to put a ruler on them, to place over them one of the meanest is mean, a mean person, meanest of his slaves, by way of punishment. So can you tell anything, Ya Najwa, here?
Yeah, that he was mean.
Mean. He said, I want to hire a mean one on the people of Egypt. So this is a way of think. He didn't like them, so he said, okay, I will hire a mean one. So this is an idea of, or a trait of what? When someone makes something to you, so you have to reply it. Revenge. Excellent. So you write, the caliph is what? Write it here in my thoughts. The caliph is what, girls?
Taking revenge.
Yeah, revengeful. Yes. Yeah, revengeful.
Miss, may I go to the bathroom?
Yes, go, dear. Thank you, Najwa. Fatima, continue.
Miss, he is what? Revengeable?
Revengeful. F-U-L at the end.
Okay.
Okay, Fatima.
Isn't it vengeful?
Revengeful, yeah.
No, like
yes.
Characteristic is vengeful.
And revengeful too.
Shall I continue?
Yeah. Fatima?
At this time...
Thank you, Najwa.
Yes, teacher. At this time, Hasib was the lowest slave in that palace. And his business...
He was the lowest slave in the palace. So,
lowest slave in the palace, and his business was to get the baths warm. He was accordingly appointed to the government with the hope that he would sufficiently punish them by his
tyranny, like Hitler, the ruler, that anyone who opposes him kills him. A tyranny. Okay, continue.
as it is usual with those who have not been brought up for such a station. But when Kasib was established in Egypt, his conduct was exemplary in the extreme.
Okay, so we stop here. We stop here. Here, have you met any traits of Kasib? Again, read it silently, girls, and tell me. Durra, have you found any Durra here? And Fatima, you will tell me. What do you think of Kasib till now? Fatima, what do you think of Kasib?
He was rude. He just that he will kill people if they don't listen to him.
Yeah, so yes, the lowest slave. We underline lowest slave in the palace. Tyranny. What else, girls? Dora, are you here, Dora?
Yes, Miss, I'm here.
Yes, what else do you know now about Kasib?
I think he's like really hopeful in an evil way.
Yeah, evil way. So there is usual with those who have not been brought up by such a station. But when Kasib was established in Egypt, so this is what we know about Kasib. But when he took or established in Egypt, when he set in Egypt, his conduct was exemplary. What is his conduct was exemplary? Exemplary means in a very good way. So he was not mean and he was not low and he was a good one. So what do we know now about Kasib? That he is what we will write in my thoughts.
A good person.
He's a good person, yes. Thank you, Fatima. Durra, read from 41, ya Durra.
He was a bad person, then he turned to be a good person when he traveled to Egypt.
This is what they say about him, that he was a bad one, but when this was the time for him, when he established in Cairo, he became a good one. Okay, so Durra?
But when Kasib was established in Egypt, his conduct was
exemplary.
I don't know how to read it. In the extreme. And for this his fame was spread far and wide. The consequence was when he was visited by the relation of the Caliph and the other persons attached to the court, and these he loaded with presents. Upon one of these occasions the Caliph missed some of his relations, and upon inquiry
found
that one of them had absented himself. After a time this man presented himself to the Caliph, who interrogated him as to his absence. The man replied that he had been paying a visit to Kasib in Egypt.
Okay, we stop here. Thank you, Dora. So girls here, read silently and tell me, what do you know now about Kasib? What do you know now about Kasib? Ragad? Ragad, are you here?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Ragad. What do you know here about Kasib, ya Ragad? From these lines, look at again. At the beginning, at the first sentence, do you know anything about Kasib? What happened to him?
The first sentence, miss, in line 15 or after?
In 41. In 41.
On page 41?
Yes, the first line. Anything about Kasib? his fame was spread. He became so famous, right? Okay, طب in line 3 and 4. Here, I will tell you quickly. Okay, he says that his fame was spread for far and wide. The consequences of his fame, when everyone knows now about Kasib, that he is a good one in Egypt, and these people start to go to visit him. He was visited by the relations of the caliph. Relations, it means relatives in this, of the caliphs. And other persons attached to the court for the caliph. And this he loaded with presents when they were going back, because at that time when you visit someone, you go carrying presents, and then when you leave, you leave with presents. So they returned with loaded with presents, much of presents. Upon one of these occasions, one of these occasions, like a party, the caliph missed some of his relations. There was a party, or for example, or a gathering, and those people didn't come to the caliph house or palace. And then when he asked, upon inquiry found, he asked why that one of them had absented himself, those who didn't go to the caliph's party. He said who interrogated him. It means he questioned him, like from interrogative word. He interrogated him as to his absence. Where have you been? The man replied that he had been paying a visit to Kasib in Egypt. I went to visit Kasib. So in these lines, do you have anything to tell you, anything more, more about Kasib, or you know more about the caliph in these few lines? Ragad? Okay, Ragad, can you? Okay, who wants to say? Tell me your name.
Can I, Miss Sarah?
Yes, Sarah.
Kasib, he became more popular than the caliph.
Excellent. So write it in the thoughts, girls. Kasib is now what? Famous. Famous. And what else? He is what else? Famous and?
Loved by the people.
Loved. Excellent. Famous. Loved. Respected. Excellent, girls. Where is the textual evidence? For Sarah, for famous, from where did you know, Sarah?
Famous. His fame was spread far and wide.
His fame was spread. Excellent. Respected or loved, Elayan, as you said.
There are two, Miss. I'm not sure. The fact that people gave him presents. He
loaded with presents. It means he is wealthy.
Yes.
So it means he gives people gifts. Underline it.
And he was visited by relations.
Excellent. Respected. He was visited by famous people, and when he gives presents, he is wealthy, and he is generous.
Yes.
Wealthy and generous. Anything about the caliph? Ragad, can you tell me anything about the caliph from here? When he said, where are my relatives? Why they didn't come to the party? And he interrogated them. When someone, where have you been? Where did you go? Why didn't you come to my party? This is a what person?
Maybe he's upset.
Upset, of course, he's sad. He is what girls controlling. He likes to control. Controlling. Okay, we stopped at Egypt. Okay, then Jumana, read it, Jumana, from line 25. Jumana. Are you here? Okay. Rama, are you here? Rama? Jana? So Jumana and Rama not here? Jana? No one, girls, or what? Najwa? Najwa read. Noor Bilal?
Yes, Miss.
Read ya Noor from 25.
He then told
Miss,
him of the gifts he had received. He then told him of the gifts he had received, which were indeed of a great value. This enraged the Caliph, so that he ordered the eyes
The Caliph made him so angry.
So that he ordered the eyes of Qasim to be put out, that he should be expelled from Egypt, and cast out into one of the streets of Baghdad. When the order for his apprehension arrived, it was served upon him by an artifice, at some distance from his palace. He had with him, however, a large ruby which he had hidden by sewing it up in his shirt during the night. His eyes were then put out, and he was thrown out in the street of Baghdad. Upon this occasion a poet happened to pass by, who said, "O Kashib, it was my intention to visit thee in Egypt, in order to recite thy praises. But thy coming hither is the more suitable to me. Will you then allow me to recite my poem?" "How," said Kashib, "shall I hear it? You know what circumstances I am in." The poet replied, "My only wish is that you should hear it, but as to reward, may God reward you, as you have others." Kashib then said, "Go on with your verse."
Okay, so what happens here, girls? When the Caliph knows that there is Caliph knows that there is Kasib, and Kasib gets popular and people love him and he is wealthy. So he got so what, girls? He got what?
so mad,
Envy.
angry.
Yes, and
Jealous. Jealous and angry, enraged the Caliph. So underline enraged the Caliph, and that tells you that he is a what?
He's jealous and angry.
He envied him.
Jealous, yes. Yes. So that he ordered here to take them out, and should be expelled from Egypt. Go from Egypt, out of Egypt, go to Baghdad and walk there aimlessly. He should be expelled from Egypt and cast out into one of the streets of Baghdad. When the order for his apprehension is the arrest or came, it was served upon him by an artifice, يعني a specialized one to take off his eyes without killing him. A clever one. Yeah.
Miss,
Yes.
can you hear me? Because it was the mic wasn't working.
Okay, Jen.
What?
Okay, حبيبتي, okay. A clever one, at some distance from his palace. He had with him, however, away of the palace. Okay, he went out, but he had two large rubies. You know, ruby is like diamond, but it's red, which he had hidden. He had hidden here. It's his shirt. He tied them in the shirt, so when they search for his body for anything, they don't find anything with him. So he stitched them in his shirt. It shows what, girls? That he is what?
Clever or
Smart?
Yeah. Clever, smart, cunning.
Quick-witted.
Yeah, because which he had hidden by sewing it up in his shirt during the night. And highlight it, please, or underline it. His eyes were put out, and he was thrown in the streets of Baghdad. Upon this occasion, a poet, then when he was walking by, he met a poet. A poet is a person who writes poems. At that time, people used to write poems to gain money. I write poem and I gain money. Upon this occasion, a poet happened to pass by who said, "Oh, Kasib, it was my intention to visit you in Egypt. I wanted to visit you. In order to tell you my praises," he wrote a poem to praise Kasib. When I am a poet, I write a poem to praise one in the government to give me money. "It was my intention to visit you in Egypt in order to recite the praises, but the coming hither is the more suitable to me. Okay, will you then allow me to recite my poem? But now he is expelled out, he has no money. Can I read for you the praise? Can I read for you the poem?" The stranger said, Will you then allow me to recite my poem? How? Said Kasib. How shall I hear? Shall I hear it? You know what circumstances I am in. You know the situation. The poet replied, my only wish is that you hear it. I don't want any money. I just want you to hear it. But as to reward, may God reward you. Okay, God reward you as you have others. Kasif then said, go on with your verse. Say your verses. The poem. Again, why poets write poems to the governors? Because when you praise the government, you take money. So the poem he wrote, the poet proceeded, thy bounties like the swelling Nile made the plains of Egypt smile. At that time, it was so it was wonderful to have Nile. Nile is the river Nile in Egypt. Not only at that time, in all times, when you have a river in your country, as you took in the social, you can plant, you can have a good life because of the Nile. Nile gives you life. So here says the bounties is the gift, the reward you take from the swelling Nile, from the humorous Nile, made the plains, the roads of Egypt smile. Means the Nile makes Egypt smile. And this is the fact, girls. Nile is the gift of Egypt. You have water that you can drink, so you have a moisturized land, fertilized land. You can plant, you can harvest, you can feed yourself. Okay? Are you here, girls?
Yes.
You still here?
Yes.
Dalia, are you here, Dalia?
So I think the period's over.
Finished?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, girls, we continue next time, inshallah.
Thank you,
Amen.
Miss. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Have a
Bye.
nice day.
Bye, girls.
Bye. Bye, Miss. Bye, Miss.
Miss,
Yes,
Bye, Miss.
Miss,
yes,
there's a homework in the Wiki Plan, page 46.